Creamer Media's Mining Weekly Online is speaking to Gavin Chamberlain, the COO of Kore Potash. Hi Gavin, could you give us an update on Kore's strategy?
The strategy of Kore at the moment is to focus on what we call the DX project. So the DX project is a 400 kiloton solution mining project in the Republic of Congo. The original strategy of the company when I joined them was really focused on a much bigger project, which was a standard, normal underground mining operation called Kola, but had a massive capital budget, over $2 billion. And as a first project for a mining house, that's a little bit difficult to fund. So we had a look at the strategy when we've completed the DFS for Kola and decided that we needed to find a smaller starter project to get us into production quicker, so that we'd be seen as not just a junior miner, but actually a producer. That basically caused us to focus on the DX project, which, as I said, is a solution mining project, extremely high grade and effectively fairly shallow. So it's a really exciting opportunity for us. Effectively, we'll be mining silverite, and over the last sort of year and a half, we've been focused on DX. We published a scoping study back in 2019, and then we published a PFS in May of 2020. And we've just recently published a updated PFS with a new production target, which we actually published this Monday.
Yes, and that actually gave one the impression that there is a really long life asset here.
Definitely, Martin. So in our original PFS, we only focused on effectively getting an ore reserve approved and published, which we did. But with the production target, we looked at the indicated resources that weren't included in the original mine layout, and we also looked at a small portion of the inferred resources. And on the back of that, effectively utilizing around about 20% of the inferred, we get a mine life of over 30 years. So potentially there's growth, there's potential growth for more than that. But at the moment, we're actually doing a phase one of the DFS, which is really focused on the geology and mine design. We raised the funds to do the DFS phase one in September, and we've just kicked off with effectively two parts of the DFS phase one. The one part being a drilling campaign where we're drilling 5 new holes in the resource. And the main driver behind the drilling campaign is really to focus on a risk that we identified in the PFS around making sure we've got measured resources and proved reserves for the initial 5 to 10 years of the mine life. 3 of the holes will be focused on actually trying to achieve that goal in terms of making sure when we start the mining that we're actually in a position where we know we're in a measured resource and approved reserve. The other 2 holes will be effectively utilized to do 2 things. The one is to drill such that we can integrate the indicated resource into the mine plan and not have it sitting outside. So a portion of the indicated at the moment is sitting outside the mine plan. So we want to drill to be able to do a connection and bring that into account. And then the other one is really around drilling to improve the certainty around we've got a silverite-carnolite boundary. The carnolite is problematic potentially for a solution mine because it has high percentages of magnesium. And if you start dissolving the magnesium, you lose control of your cavern. So understanding the boundary between the silverite and the carnolite is fairly key. And we will be doing an additional hole as well to try and address that risk to get a better understanding of where that boundary lies.
And when will the first saleable potash come out of this? When are you expecting to do something commercial with the potash?
Yeah, so this is, the COVID has definitely affected fundraising and the road forward. So effectively, by doing the geology and the mine design to a DFS level now in phase one, means we still have to achieve a phase 2, which would be the traditional sort of plant design, capital and OPEX finalization, and that will take us probably another 8 months. So at this point in time we scheduled to finish off the phase 1 in May next year. then we would have to raise funds and effectively do the phase 2 of the DFS. And only at that point would we be in a position to raise funds for the construction of the project. So effectively, we're looking at potentially starting construction around in 2022.